the beam that's inside here came out of Tower 1, 67th floor. And those of you that have, obviously all of you that have seen it, it is unbelievable. It is just unbelievable. Our team, and I say our team, the Wallens, Carol and Carl Wallen, have committed to this project from day one, which was 2 years ago when we decided we were going to build a memorial. And that happened to be at Ed's Tavern after a beer or two. And John Briner, the owner of Ed's Tavern, it was Labor Day weekend, and we were talking about it, and I said to him, John, you know, it's been 8 years at that time that it's been since 9/11 and the towers aren't up, and people are beginning to forget. And it hit me that they are beginning to forget. There were more people killed on 9/11, 2001, than in all of Pearl Harbor, December 7th, 1941. And President Roosevelt at that time made a statement that December 7th, 1941 will be a day that will live in infamy. A lot of movies made about it. I'm sure you've all seen them. But 9/11, by the way, back to Pearl Harbor to regress, that attack on Pearl Harbor launched the United States into the Pacific theater. We were already fighting a war in the West, Western Europe. And when we were attacked by the Japanese on that morning, Sunday morning, December 7th, 1941, it entered us into the war in the Pacific, which has just been an unbelievable attack. 9/11, Tuesday morning at 8:43, Tower 1 was struck in New York City. Tower 2 was hit, 9/16. And from that day, our country will never be the same. It has changed our entire life, our lifestyle, what we think, how we think. And again, close to 1,000 people more were killed on 9/11. And that has launched us into the longest war our country has been in. Longer than Vietnam. Longer than World War II. So when we thought of the idea, and Carl got right behind it when the first article appeared in the local newspaper that we were trying to get this thing done, he and Carol, his wife, the owners of this rig, stepped up and said, we want to be a part of this. We're a part of it. We all happen to live in Lakewood Ranch. And so there was a site that was a possibility. Well, that didn't happen, nor did the second one, nor did it happen at the Emma Booker Elementary School in Sarasota, Florida, where our President and Commander-in-Chief, George W. Bush, was that morning when he was informed of the first plane hitting Tower 1 and then subsequently, and then he knew that it was not an accident. So when you think of it, the culmination of both civilian victims and military victims, there was 186 killed at the Pentagon of both civilian and military personnel, as well as in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, and Tower 1 and 2, and so on. That it hit me, talk about divine intervention, that there is not a tribute anywhere, at least I don't know of at this point, maybe it's come up, of a combined 9/11 and fallen military heroes memorial for the day of 9/11. There are 9/11 memorials, yes there are, and there are military memorials all around the country, all over, but not one honoring the two. 9/11 became known as, do any of you know what 9/11 is called? It's Patriot Day. 1941, December 7th became a day of infamy. Patriot Day is about what happened to all of our American brothers and sisters who were killed that day. And appropriately, as I've said earlier, that we've had a few opportunities that weren't fulfilled as to where this memorial was going to be built. You know, it's been said when one door closes, another one opens. Well, wouldn't it be that it opened, and appropriately, by a few fellow colleagues who are also members of the Vietnam Brotherhood, also of the Vietnam Veterans Association, and also the Sarasota Veterans Council. We were collaborating, and because of the combination of 9/11 victims and fallen military heroes, it came out almost simultaneous. What about Patriots Park in Venice? Well, within the 13th district, electoral district here, there are 97,000 veterans in this voting district, which includes Venice as well. So again, the synergies just started to close on every possible comparison, including the fact that 3 terrorists of the 19 were trained at Venice Airport, which unfortunately was a stigma undeserving of the beautiful town, historic town of Venice, but reality is what it is. This is a tremendous compliment to Patriots Park and all Americans to have this on Patriot Day in Patriots Park on Venice next Sunday. And I thank you all on very short notice for being here. And again, the Wallens, Carol and Carl, please, have at it. This has been a traumatic situation.
It has been, but we have been honored to be part of it, and it turned out, the outcome is
No, we weren't
just
certain
remarkable.
it was going to happen, and we're just, through the hard work of Gene Sweeney and everybody else involved.
Carol.
Florida.
The other Carol.
Carol and
Carol, Florida Department of Transportation and Florida Highway Patrol. We really appreciate them stepping up and giving us the escort today. And I think this is something that everybody should remember for a long time. Forever.
We will never forget.
No, never forget. Never forget, just like the sign on the truck up there.
And we brought it home, and it's great to be home.
Yes. Thank you, Gene.
Well, thank you all. And again, some of you may have overheard me say that there's a saying that the caterpillar builds the cocoon and the butterfly gets all the reviews. Here are the 2 caterpillars that have been behind this from day one. Other folks, the guy behind the camera here, Mike Evers, has been a supporter. Lots of folks out here. Colonel John Saputo, President and retired full Bird Colonel, 06 United States Marine Corps, was one of the first to step up, as were the Wallens, and make a financial contribution to this. Also, Lou Marinaccio and family from MGA Insurance Group, as well as the Clobber family, restaurateurs of Sarasota. We're getting donations. It's coming in, other individuals. This is going to be constructed, built, designed, and maintained without the spending of one taxpayer dollar. And thank you all for your personal contributions, your tremendous support through this whole process. And again, it couldn't have happened without divine intervention, and certainly God had a hand in this as he is watching over all of our victims of 9/11. Thank you.